Now to an epic challenge involving a small open boat, a crew packed in like sardines and a 4,000-mile row. Well, that's what Captain Bligh and his handful of loyal men had to do when there was mutiny on HMS Bounty 230 years ago.
Well, now as part of a new TV series which starts tonight, Southwest-based yachtsman Conrad Humphreys is one of the crew who set out to recreate the voyage. Conrad, of course, has won the BT Global Challenge, came 7th in the Vendée Globe and was one of 9 crew members who faced the same challenges as Captain Bligh in the South Pacific. Storms, basic navigation and rationed food for 60 days in a replica 23-foot wooden boat. Well, as you can see, Conrad is here to tell us more about it. We'll chat in a moment. First, though, here's a quick look at the programme tonight.
We've got 200 metres past these jagged rocks here. We've got to give it all, otherwise this journey's over, the boat is finished.
Get them out with the cuffs on. Keep the noise down, let's get this done.
One, row.
Let's go, boys!
One, two, come on.
Well, as I mentioned, Conrad is here with us. That looked pretty dangerous and pretty scary. What was going on there at that point?
We were trying to make landfall on Tafur, and Bligh was cast adrift 35 miles west of Tafur, southwest of Tafur, and he could see the volcanic island. So he made his way to that island and he rowed, but the island itself is volcanic. It's very, very jagged rocks. There's no obvious place to land. And in fact, that moment was, we were really struggling to make landfall. The wind was pushing us onto the rocks, and we had to row for our lives.
It looks like it's going to be a really great programme tonight, but when you were offered to do it, I mean, did you jump at the opportunity or did you think this is crazy?
You know, I did jump at the opportunity because how often do you get the chance to recreate something like this? And with a with a programme of this scale and this interest, it was a huge opportunity. But the reality is, it's 9 strangers thrown together on a boat, open boat, that we don't know each other, I was a professional skipper on board the boat under Captain Ant, who played Bligh. I was very apprehensive. I describe it as an audacious trip and quite reckless, but very bold. We pulled something off, which is magical.
I listed earlier on some of the things you've achieved in the sailing world, but how does this adventure compare to what you've done in the past? I mean, in terms of the equipment and the technology that you're used to and what you had on board for this adventure?
Well, of course, this was paring everything back to the very basics. I mean, I've actually brought in a sextant with me, and
let's take a look. This would be the sort of thing
that's right. So when Bligh was cast adrift, he had it was a quite humane way. I mean, he was left for dead, but he was given some of his tools. He was given a sextant. He wasn't given any charts. He had the charts in his head because he charted some of this area with Cook on the Resolution as the sailing master. Obviously, Bligh was an expert with one of these things, so much better than I am. But he was also given some rations, and included with that, he was given 28 gallons of water, 150 pounds of salted pork, some ship's biscuits.
You had 400 calories a day, was it? You must have lost a lot of weight.
We did. So on average, over the course of the trip, we all lost between 20 and 25 kilos. In fact, our doctor, our surgeon on board the boat, he lost 25% of his body weight.
Goodness.
So it was quite an ordeal.
It does look amazing, quite scary, as we said at times. Briefly, what do you make of what Bligh achieved? Now you've done it. Bligh's been sort of much maligned in the media. He's was painted as a real villain, and I don't think he was particularly warm to his loyalists, his crew, and that's probably why some mutinies happened. But he was a remarkable navigator, and actually, having got his guys to Timor safely, few could argue with his navigational ability, albeit most of his guys actually died within the 3 weeks of arriving.
9 o'clock tonight, Channel 4. Look forward to seeing it. I wish we could talk more, but sadly we're out of time. But thank you for coming in,
Thanks,
Conrad.
Conrad.
That's my pleasure.
Good to see you.